A gulab jamun contains a sugar syrup up to about 30% of its volume. Find approximately how much syrup should be found in 45 such gulab jamuns, each shaped like a cylinder with two hemispherical ends with length 5 centimeters and diameter 2.8. So we have two shapes. One, we have the cylinder here. This is the cylinder. And of this cylinder, the diameter is given 2.8 centimeters. Here's the diameter, 2.8 centimeters. Therefore, the radius will be 1.4 centimeters. Now this height of the cylinder, is not given to us. So we will write the height as h. We do not know it. Now the next two shapes we have are that of the hemisphere. So I have hemisphere here, this hemisphere, one hemisphere here, and the other hemisphere on this side. Now when it comes to hemisphere, we need to find just one dimension, and that is the radius. And if you have noticed here, the radius of the cylinder and the hemisphere is the same. The radius of the cylinder is 1.4, so that of the hemisphere will also be 1.4 centimeters. Before we begin the actual sum, we need to find the height of the cylinder. Now to find the height of the cylinder, we see the total height. This total height is given to us as 5 centimeters. The total height equal to 5 centimeters. Now this total height is made up of three parts. Here you have this part, which is a radius. We'll mark it here. And on this side also you have the radius, which I will mark here, this radius. And then you have the center, this part, from here to here, which is this part now, which is the height of the cylinder. So this total height is divided into three parts. You have a radius of hemisphere, then you have the height of the cylinder, and again radius of hemisphere. So this total of this 5 centimeters, which is a total height here, equal to radius of hemisphere. Radius of hemisphere is 1.4 centimeters. Height of cylinder, we don't know, h, plus again radius of hemisphere 1.4 centimeters. So your height is 2.8 plus this height of the cylinder. So 2 minus 2.8 equal to h, and the answer comes 2.2 is the height of the cylinder. So I'll draw the figure again. So let's find the volume. So the volume will be made up of three parts. One will be this hemisphere. So you know the volume of the hemisphere is 2 by 3 pi r cube. We have a similar hemisphere here, which is again 2 by 3 pi r cube. And here in the center we have the cylinder. So you know the formula for volume of cylinder is pi r square h. So total volume of this full figure, total volume equal to 2 volume of cones, two volume of hemispheres, you know why they're two, plus volume of cylinder. Let's continue the sum. Let's first find volume of hemisphere equal to 2 by 3 pi r cube, and remember you have two volumes here because we have two hemispheres, so we multiplied this by 2, and now we get 4 by 3 pi, and your r is 1.4 the whole cube. So we are done with that. Now we need to know volume of cylinder, and for volume of cylinder it is pi r square h. We'll put the value pi, the r is the same, 1.4 square, and we calculated the h as 2.2. We've done this calculation, so this is done. Now total volume, equal to the first two volumes of cones, 2 cones plus 1 cylinder. So 2 cones is, we already calculated that, it was here, 2 cones pi 1.4 cube plus cylinder, which was pi 1.4 square into 2.2. Now this calculation I'll do it a little differently. I'm going to take common out, pi common out, and this also common out. So I take which is equal to pi common, pi 1.4 square common out. What remains here is 4 into 1.4 over 3 plus 2.2. I'll continue it on this side. So you have pi 1.4 square equal to 5.6 plus 6.6 over 3, and the total answer here comes, the answer works as pi into 1.96 into 12.2 over 3. That is volume of 1 gulab jamun. Okay, that is pi into 1.96, 12.2 over 3. But here we're not dealing with 1, we are dealing with 45 of them. So we have now volume of 45 will be 45 into this volume. And then you can strike this, and this will be 15. Okay, so, and you'll get this answer as 15 into 22 by 7, 1.96 into 12.2. Now we're not done. We now need to find the volume of the syrup. And then they said volume of syrup, of the sugar syrup, is 30% volume of the gulab jamun. 30%, which means 30% is 30 over 100 into now the volume of the gulab jamun, this volume, 30% of this. So 15 into 22 over 7. You do the calculations. I will be sending you the PDF file on this, and you can check on your calculations, and the answer in the end comes 338 centimeter cube.